Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Video Attendance. We are still mostly remote at work. Audio calls, screen shares and a whole lot of chat messages. It works. Productivity's fine. Nobody complains. Well, almost nobody. One unpopular program manager decided that meetings need cameras on. You know, for better communication. Because nothing says team synergy like a grid of exhausted faces staring blankly into webcams from messy home offices. Most people just nodded along or gave excuses. Today though, he called me out by name. Fine. I smiled, clicked the camera button, and chaos ensued. I happened to be wearing a golf polo with fine horizontal stripes. Think TV static meets optical illusion. As soon as my video popped up, a moral pattern started dancing across the screen. Every time I moved, even slightly, it shifted and rippled like some cursed magic eye painting. It was wildly distracting. People stopped talking mid-sentence. Jokes flew. Screenshots were taken. 5 solid minutes of phrasing ensued. I played it off. Oh no, is it that bad? They assured me it absolutely was. So I did what any reasonable, camera-loving teammate would do. I spent the rest of the meeting subtly fidgeting, leaning forward, back, turning slightly, scratching my head, just enough to keep the visual noise going, but never enough to seem like I was doing it on purpose. The program manager didn't say another word about cameras after that. The next story is called Hallway Lanes. Back around 2015, I taught at a Title I middle school. Low income, low test scores, and at the time under full administrative overhaul by the state. The new district leadership came in like a corporate restructuring team. Full micromanagement, all stick, no carrot, and absolutely zero grasp of how 12-year-olds work. One of their bright ideas? Hallway lanes. 3 of them. 2 outer lanes for students, 1 way each, a center lane for teachers only. The goal? Improve hallway flow and get students to class faster. The result? Immediate chaos. Glorious, imaginative chaos. Within 3 days, every student was driving an imaginary car. Turn signals, merging, honking. They lined up like traffic, let each other in, obeyed the flow. Teachers became intersection cops. It was adorably efficient and incredibly slow. You see, kids wouldn't pass each other. They had to merge around doorways. And of course, they needed to park. I watched 7th graders parallel park their invisible Priuses and back their fake pickup trucks into spots before entering class. Some even made beep 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 reversing noises. Admin? Not amused. They started handing out tardies and detentions, blaming staff for encouraging disruption. And that's when the kids went from cute to malicious. They couldn't cross the teacher-only center lane, so if they wanted to talk to a friend or reach their locker, they had to take long, circuitous routes. So what did they do? They leaned in. Imaginary lowriders with sound effects started cruising the longest hallway. Popular kids started a school bus service, complete with routes and shoulder-holding caravans. If a bus broke down, they'd block traffic at intersections until a tow truck came. Drag racing at passing time became a thing. Cops, students would pull over other students, issue fake tickets and give lectures. Kids would leave class to check on their cars. Bathroom goers returned to report someone's minivan was being towed. Admin assumed it would fizzle out. It did not. Hallways became the highlight of the day. Class was just a thing you did between commutes. Eventually, they ripped up the lane tape and cut passing time by 2 minutes to kill the fun. All it did was create a new problem. Now, students had no time to use the bathroom between classes. And with only a handful of toilets per floor, the math simply didn't add up. They started getting written up for bathroom use. So, they stopped asking. Clogged toilets, pee in sinks, anywhere but the actual restroom. Admin started fighting a full-blown hygiene war. All because they tried to fix test scores with hallway traffic lanes. The third story is called Phone Plan. Back when I was well into adulthood, I was still on a family phone plan with my parents and sibling. In theory, it was a good deal. 4 people sharing a plan, cheaper than individual ones. In theory. In practice, it was more like Dad's data empire. He took the lion's share of the monthly data and acted like the rest of us were freeloading parasites if we dared use more than crumbs. If you even approached a quarter of the data, which logically should be your fair share, you'd get a passive-aggressive group text. So while he streamed weather reports in 4K or whatever he was doing, the rest of us were expected to be on Wi-Fi 24/7 and ration our data. But hey, family planned savings, right? Then came the birthday. My dad, in classic emotionally repressed boomer fashion, decides to give me a gift in form of a lecture. You're getting kicked off the family plan. Time to be a man. Something about personal responsibility and how he's sick of adult relatives who sponge off family plans. It wasn't the first time he dropped bad news at a family gathering, so I just nodded, smiled and made the switch. I got the cheapest, bare-bones solo plan I could find. Turned out I barely used data anyway, and it cost me about the same as my share of the family plan. More importantly, no more text, no more micromanaging my megabytes. Pure bliss. About a year later, Dad starts hinting that maybe I should come back to the family plan. Turns out kicking me off cost him more. The carrier had one of those bulk pricing deals. The more people on the plan, the cheaper it is per person. So now each of them was paying more than when I was part of the group. He asked, he reasoned, he practically begged, and I smiled sweetly and said, "Oh, but Dad, remember? You said I needed to be a responsible adult and pay my own bills. I'm just doing what you asked." He asked again later, "Still paying more per person, you know." And I'd reply, "Can't put a price on maturity, right?" Every time he brought it up, I reminded him how much he hated my other adult relatives who refused to grow up. I was just following his lead. The last story is called Good Reasons. I work a low-stress, low-drama job. It's the kind of place where the most intense thing I deal with is the occasional printer jam or someone microwaving fish in the break room. Nothing high stakes, nothing life or death. So it's extra hilarious that my boss has this weird obsession with time off. Specifically, he insists that anytime we take PTO, we have to give a good reason for it. Not just, "I'm taking time I've earned and I'm entitled to." It needs to be approved, and there better be a justification. Now, normally, I just ignore it and write personal day or vacation. But one week, after a particularly intense stretch, by our office standard, think we had to send 2 emails a day instead of 1. I wanted to take a few days off to recharge. While on cue, my boss sent out one of his friendly reminders. "Please remember, time off must be accompanied by a valid reason and is subject to approval." You want a reason? I've got a reason. I walked into his office like a broken soul. Slow steps, heavy sigh, eyes cast down like I just watched a sad indie film. And then I delivered what may be my greatest performance. Since that one time I played a background tree in a college production. Hey, I was hoping I could take a couple of days off. It's my dad. He's going through chemo. It's been really hard lately. He used to be the strong, unshakable guy. And now he's just so tired. I need some time, you know? Now, let me be clear. My dad had cancer. Years ago. He's been cancer-free and thriving ever since. This was pure community theater gold. My boss, clearly out of his depth, just mumbled something about taking all the time I needed and practically ushered me out of his office like I was about to burst into tears. I wasn't. I was 2 seconds away from laughing. He never rescinded the stupid good reason rule, so I just kept giving him more reasons. Anytime I needed time off, I gave him a devastating backstory. And always in person, because nothing makes a power-hungry middle manager squirm like a fake emotional breakdown in his office before 10 AM. Now, whenever I knock on his door, PTO request in hand, I see that red wash over his face, and every time I walk out with my days approved. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.